First of all, welcome to today's event. Since this is technically our American Legion meeting day, we're going to start off with some of the duties that we have within our organization. So if you could indulge us for a few seconds as we pay honor to our country and to our fallen comrades, I'd ask you all to please rise. I'll ask the past commander, Steve Bradford, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Present. Humps.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order armed. Order arms. I'd like to introduce Ron Trucott to come up and lead us in the opening prayer.
Uncover. Lord, in the rigors of training and the demands of waiting and preparation first responders go through, please sustain and strengthen them. Go before them and prepare the way. Guard their going out and their coming in. Make them sharp as they train and prepare, and give them supernatural calm and recall when they must apply their training. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. Amen.
On behalf of the American Legion Post 47, we welcome everyone to the 2025 Holliston 9/11 Public Safety Awards. Today, as we have in the past, we take this opportunity to honor the members of the Holliston public safety community who, based on their leadership's assessment, have distinguished themselves through exceptional service to our community. In addition to recognizing our public safety team, we also honor a Holliston High School student for her outstanding example of the importance of public service to her classmates in our community. Before I begin, though, however, I want to express my gratitude to the real unsung heroes of our public safety team, and that's the family and loved ones of our first responders. You understand better than anyone in this room the daily challenges they face. Whether it's when the 911 call comes or the fire alarm sounds, your support allows them to rush into danger to keep us safe. Your love and encouragement are invaluable to their work. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you. I also want to express my gratitude to the members of the Veterans Committee who organized this event. I want to thank Steve Bradford, United States Air Force. Walter. I thought you were in the Air Force. Oh, this is why you never put an officer in charge of these things. United States Navy, excuse me. Walter McGrath, United States Army. Our chaplain, who I believe is a Navy veteran. Ron, thank you. Your Army? I'm embarrassing myself in front of the public safety community. And of course to our TAPS, to Joe Zabodi, who plays taps at all our funerals. It's an important part of how we honor our veterans, so thank you. Additionally, I want to acknowledge Holliston Cable Television and Holliston Reporter for their invaluable services. Their support is not only essential for covering today's event, but also plays a crucial role in highlighting the contribution of our veterans. Your continued support is instrumental in making these ceremonies possible. I also want to recognize a few folks in the audience that represent both our military, our veterans organizations, and our civic leadership. Our town manager, Frank Gravazio. Gravazio, did I get that right, sir? All right. The Kaplan family, Naomi's family's here. Is our VFW Commander Dave Dagon, U.S. Army. Our new Director of Veteran Services, Catherine Lang, U.S. Army. Thank you so much. Representatives of the Holliston Police Department, we have Lieutenants Chad Thompson and Todd Hagan. From the Holliston Fire Department, we have our past commander of the American Legion, Alan Greendale. Thank you all for coming. At this point, I would like to welcome the town manager to come forward for opening remarks on behalf of the community of Holliston. Sir.
How's this? Everybody hear me? Good? All right. Well, good morning, and thank you so much all for being here in Town Hall this morning. This is a great opportunity not only to honor and express gratitude for all of the services that our public safety and first responders provide to our residents and community members every day, but in particular those that that Chief Stone and Chief Cassidy have recommended and identified as going over and above and making such an impact to a number of families here in town. I'd also echo the gratitude that we as a community should express to the families of our first responders for the sacrifices that they make on behalf of our community as well. So thank you so much. I have one of my little guys here today who, him and his brother are big fans of anything with motors and anything that is loud. And every time we pass an ambulance or a police car, he always says, "Daddy, they're on their way to help someone." And that might be true, or they might also be, on the side of the road, maybe helping them slow down a little bit. But thank you for all of the help that you provide to our community members, our residents, our business owners, folks that are passing through town. This is a great morning to honor that service, and thank you for the sacrifices that you and your families have made on behalf of the town of Holliston. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your morning. Thanks again.
Thank you, sir. I just want to take a minute and talk a little bit about the American Legion, because you hear about these veterans organizations. It's important to understand what our mission is, especially one of the most important ones, and that's suicide prevention. Founded by an act of Congress after World War I, the American Legion passionately advocates for the unique needs of our generation of veterans, service members, and their families who dedicate themselves to protecting our nation. Today, we are committed to destigmatizing mental health support, provide peer-to-peer resources, and empowering everyone to be the one and to fight the end to veteran suicide. Our core mission values is service to veterans and families, patriotism and citizenship, community engagement, and volunteering and membership. And I do want to talk a little bit about our suicide prevention program. Today we face an epidemic of suicide within our veteran community and among our public safety personnel. A critical focus of the American Legion is to be the one mission, which aims to prevent suicide by offering peer-to-peer support, reducing the stigma surrounding mental health, and training members to assist not only veterans, but all communities in crisis. Each year, the Holliston Veterans host a free Be the One seminar for our entire community to support this vital initiative. And we had it this past June. We anticipate having it again this spring. It's open to the entire community. Last year we had members of the Holliston Public Health Department, Mental Health Department were here, members of the Fire Department as well, because it's an epidemic that affects all of us. Whether we know someone personally or we served with someone, their death needlessly hurts all of us, and it's a drain and something we live with every day. So I just want to advocate for that and push that out. If you see it posted in the Holliston Reporter, or we try to get it out through the different town services, please feel free to attend. So with that, I'd like to, I don't know if Representative DeRosa has I know he's en route here. When he gets here, we'll have him come up. I'd like to invite a representative from the Holliston Fire Department, Lieutenant Greendale, to come up and say a few words. Sir, are you here? Yep.
Good morning. I really didn't know I was going to speak, but thank you all for coming, supporting our firefighters, the EMTs and firefighters. They do things every day that you don't realize will have an impact on them when they go home. And I didn't really realize it until I went with them, particularly the EMTs. You see horrible things that you don't want to remember, and they have to live with it. So thank you for coming.
I'm not sure who the senior lieutenant is from the Holliston Police Department, but if you'd like to come up to represent the chief, we'd appreciate it. We go by data rank. Thank you.
Chad did go by data, right?
We won't answer the date, but...
Good morning. I just want to say thank you to the VFW Post and the Legion Post for, honoring the officers of this department, things that they do every day. Usually it's constituted as something that they just do as a normal day, but sometimes, again, it's above and beyond. So truly appreciate the recognition for the day. Thank you. Thank you.
And I'd like to call on our state representative, a big supporter of our veterans organizations here in town and all our veterans, Representative James Arena DeRosa. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Sorry I'm a little late. I had to run back and get a bag because I didn't want the awards to get wet. I had them in my car and I had to go back. But in any event, it's great to be with all of you. It's such an honor to represent this town. Do I have the wrong microphone? I'm going on this one. It's that one. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, good. Ron and I were at the Senior Center yesterday and we were talking about 9/11. 9/11 was 24 years ago. And that means there's a whole generation that doesn't know those stories. And people come to know our history through the stories people tell. And I know that we honor responses to specific emergencies here that happened in Holliston, but it was chosen, and it's so great that Steve and others in the veterans do this, Bobby and everybody, to remember what happened that horrible day. I mean, it's an indelible moment for many of us who lived through it. And just a reminder that first responders put their lives on the line every single day. There may not be an incident every day, but every time they put their uniform on, there's the risk that something may happen. So we are so appreciative of all that you do in serving the town of Holliston. I wanted to just real quickly, it'll be like a minute on each of these, talk about a couple issues. One of them is broader, one of them is very, very local to Holliston. On the broader issue, I think about our Holliston police. I am so proud of our department and so proud of the relationship that you all have with this town. And it's hard work. I could never do the work that they do, right? We see them in events, hello, how you doing? But, sometimes they have to confront people, sometimes they have to arrest people, sometimes it's really, really tough. And they do it within the parameters of the law. Their vehicle is marked, Holliston Police. We have their badge, we can see who they are, we talk, we converse. They are respectful of how we operate in this community. And I believe that every law enforcement in the agency in the country should follow those same guidelines. None of them are above the law. I so appreciate the way we do it here in Holliston, and it's a model for everybody in the country. The other issue is very, very local. And a couple years ago, before I was in the legislature, we passed the post reform, right? It was in response to some really nasty things that happened between police and communities. Not here. We've always had great relationships, but we still had to be part of the new law. Holliston, as I understand it, is up to date with all the training. We've done everything required. But as I learned from Chief Stone, and this happens sometimes, state government will make a law that affects everybody that they don't think through the parameters. Small towns like Holliston, we lost our auxiliary police, which was a shame because they knew us, they were around us, they were another pair of hands during big events. I mean, I coached Little League with one of our auxiliary police officers here. The other unintended consequence of this is that now community groups, when they want to do an event, often raising money to help the community in some way, have to pay more for the details. Now, I trust Chief Stone and the town and the parameters on whether a detail is needed, how much they should be paid. I'm not talking about that. But I am talking about who pays. And my question is, why doesn't the state kick in some of that to help defray the cost to small towns? So I'm going to work with Frank and others and Chief Stone and see if there's a way we can set up some kind of a fund so that we can help our community groups here in Holliston. They all do such great work, and I think it's important. We, of course, need the details. It's important, but why doesn't the state pay more? And in any event, it's great to be with all of you. I do have the awards when it's time for the ceremony. I'll add our piece that we have. It's just, I don't need to read it. It's just a citation. It's a citation from the House of Representatives recognizing those who are being honored today. And mostly just thank you for what you do every single day. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. All right, so let's get on to the reason we're here today, the award ceremony. But before we start with our public safety officers, I do want to present our special award to our local student. I am pleased to introduce our guest speaker and recipient of the American Legion Certificate of Achievement. Each year, the American Legion seeks to recognize a student who exemplifies the qualities of community service and leadership that represent the very best of Holliston. This year, we are honored to present the award to Naomi Kaplan. No, why don't you come up? Yeah, you can sit. Naomi is a 16-year-old junior who lives in Holliston her entire life with her parents, older sister, and her dog, Chloe. I get that? Outside of school, Naomi is involved in various activities. She is a cadet at the Goddard Wing of the Massachusetts Civil Air Patrol, which she's heading to this afternoon. She plays soccer, snowboards, plays the drums, bikes, hikes, travels, and studies French in the French immersion program. Wow. This summer, Naomi attended and completed the Youth Trooper program sponsored by the American Legion and the Massachusetts State Police. This program is designed for high school students with insight into law enforcement careers, the necessary training, and the everyday demands of such a profession. It's open to students aged 15 to 7 who maintain good academic standings, demonstrate good moral character, and present good, well-groomed appearances. The program includes rigorous training and physical challenges with a paramilitary-style academic setting. So Naomi, on behalf of the American Legion, I'd like to present a certificate to you. This certificate of achievement is gratefully presented to Naomi Kaplan. The veterans of Holliston commend you for your outstanding community service and for successfully completing the American Legion Massachusetts Youth Trooper Program. In addition to this achievement, you are actively involved in numerous school activities, a member of the Goddard Wing of the Massachusetts Civil Air Patrol. Your dedication to public service is an inspiring example to your fellow students and the entire Holliston community. Presented by the American Legion Post 47, Holliston, Mass., Department of Massachusetts, the 7th day of September, 2025. Stand on this. So I want you to... No, we'll stay right here. I'll get a picture. We can get a picture? Thank you. Oh, you got another one? It's part of being a leader. You're going to get the picture. So I'll put this here. Naomi, all yours.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Naomi Kaplan, and I'm currently a junior at Holliston High School. I'm honored to be standing here today to share my experience in the Massachusetts Student Trooper Program, an opportunity that has truly changed the way I view law enforcement. This year, I had the privilege of being one of about 70 students from across New England selected to participate in the 36th Annual Massachusetts Student Trooper Program. This program is sponsored by the American Legion and run by the Massachusetts State Police. When I first learned about the program from a family friend, I was immediately intrigued. I had been thinking a lot about life after high school and what kind of career I wanted. I knew I wanted to help others in some capacity and experience paramilitary training. When I first arrived at the training grounds in New Braintree, Mass., I was not sure what to expect or how I would handle it. The first day was tough, however, by the end of the program, I had some amazing experiences. Some of my favorite experiences included EVOC, where I got to drive a police cruiser around a course, the ropes course, and PT with the trainees. This experience had me the EVOC had me making decisions quickly while under pressure, since if I did not make decisions quickly, I would hit a cone. Another activity that was both challenging and fun was the ropes course. This obstacle course tested my fear of heights. I was hesitant at first, but after I got through the first course, I had more confidence and felt good about what I could do. Additionally, physical training with the trainees was cool. I never done exercises like this before, I also began to see just how demanding police work can be, both mentally and physically. I quickly understood that being an officer means constantly being ready for whatever comes your way. Throughout the program, I also had the opportunity to learn about different units within the Massachusetts State Police. These include the K-9 unit, mounted unit, SWAT, motorcycle unit, and the drone unit. Each of these units are important in keeping everyone safe. On top of all that, I learned how to pull someone over properly without putting myself in danger. And by the end of the program, I really began to understand what it means to be an officer. To be an officer, you must be strong both mentally and physically, and be prepared for anything, because at any moment, something unexpected could happen. I want to take a moment to thank those who made this experience possible. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my sponsor at the American Legion, Martin Spelcy, my platoon leader, Trooper Finnis, and my parents for supporting me and encouraging me. To conclude, I would like to recommend this program to anyone who wants to challenge themselves or is considering a career in either law enforcement or other physically demanding careers. Thank you all for your time and attention today.
I want to take that. Well, I think the vote's in. We're going to let her MC this next year because she's a much better speaker than I am, so I appreciate that. Congratulations. A lot of us who come from law enforcement families, and I have relatives who are in the state police. I know how demanding it is up there. So your words certainly reflected highly on me as I think about the training that you went through that short time. So thank you so much. I'm going to put my glasses on. At this point, we'll begin our awards of the American Legion Medal of Merit. The recipients of the American Legion Medal of Merit were chosen based on the recommendations of Chief Cassidy, Holliston Fire Department, and Chief Matthew Stone, Holliston Police Department. The selection process, as in past year, involved a thorough review of the selectees' service record and their impact of their actions on the community. We'd like to start with the Holliston Police Department. At this point, I'd ask Legionnaire Walter McGrath to come up to assist with the presentation. And also, Representative, thank you, sir. I'd ask the following officers to come forward to stand. I'll read the citation, and then they'll receive their awards. Officer Alex Hume, Officer Christopher Mustard, Officer Guillermo Palencia. I know I butchered that, I apologize. And then Officer Alex Keefe. At approximately 6:50 p.m. on the evening of June 26, Officer Hume, Mustard, and Placinia were dispatched at 23 Wingate Road for a report of an unconscious male who was not breathing. Upon arrival, you were directed to the living room where you observed the male party lying on the couch, discolored and exhibiting bluish-gray skin, clear signs of medical distress. After checking for a pulse and noting the absence of breathing and chest rise, you immediately initiated CPR. While CPR was underway, the patient's shirt was removed and preparations were made for the use of the external defibrillator, AED. After approximately 5 rounds of CPR, a shock was delivered via the EAD. The officers continued CPR until the Holliston Ashland Fire Department arrived and assumed the care. Remarkably, before being transferred to the hospital, the patient, though still conscious, had regained a pulse and resumed breathing. There's no doubt that your selfless skills and actions played a critical role in saving his life. Your actions reflect highly upon yourself and the Holliston Police Department. Officer Alex Keefe. At approximately 2:25 p.m., you were dispatched to the area of 350 Pentress Street for a report of a motor vehicle crash, with the report that a tree had landed on top of a vehicle. While en route to the call, it was reported that the driver of the vehicle was trapped, unresponsive, and gurgling. Upon arrival, you observed a single motor vehicle with heavy top damage. You then determined that advanced life support ALS ambulance was needed, along with a heavy rescue unit from the fire department due to entrapment. It was at this time that you, Assistant Fire Chief Brian Kelly, Framingham Fire Chief Michael Dutcher, and others, an off-duty paramedic, were able to pry the car door open to remove the patient. You then determined that a patient had gone into cardiac arrest and CPR was initiated. Your continued CPR and medical aid until the Holliston ambulance arrived on the scene and assumed care. The patient was eventually transported by ambulance to a local hospital and subsequently transferred to a main trauma center by way of medevac. Remarkably, the patient also regained a pulse. Your actions that day reflect highly upon yourself and the Holliston Police Department. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll do pictures right after the... I'd like to ask Lieutenant Greendale to come up from the Holliston Fire Department, representing the chief. I'll also ask Trooper Gonzalez to come up to represent the American Legion. And I'd ask the following members of our fire service and EMT: Jamie Eastman, Rhonda Matson, Michael Murphy, and Ryan Sullivan. On Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024, the Hallbrook Regional Emergency Communications Center received a report of a motor vehicle crash on Washington Street involving a motorcycle. The on-duty ambulance crew responded from the station along with a paramedic mentor from the Holliston Fire Department and the duty officer vehicle. Based on their injuries to the motorcyclist, determination was made to transport him to a trauma center by air medical evac. The injured party was transferred to the landing zone on South Street, where care was transferred to the crew of the Boston Med Flight and for transport to UMass Medical Center, University Campus in Worcester. The basic life support BLS care and advanced life support ALS intervention in the pre-hospital setting for our personnel in rapidly delivering the individual to a trauma center were instrumental in a positive outcome for the patient. Your action reflects highly upon yourself and the Holliston Fire Department. Thank you. As we're getting the awards, I would just tell you that having worked around aviation and helicopters, those are not easy missions to execute. To bring an aviation asset into a community, upload a patient, is quite a task. And involves a lot of logistics, a lot of coordination, and a lot of hard work. So that's a pretty impressive operation. Thank you all very much. Well, that concludes today's ceremony. We promised to keep it short because I know we have church coming up at 11. We have Civil Air Patrol meetings coming up and other activities. So I just want to remind everyone that Veterans Day is just about 2 months away. And we are especially appointed this year as we celebrate the 250th birthday of our nation and the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It is also the anniversary of many of our military organizations. We celebrated the Army this past June. We have the Marine Corps coming up in November 10th. But it really advocates the tradition of the citizen soldier. Our Army, our military is made up of civilians. They come from our ranks. They've come from our local population. They're our brothers, our sisters, our aunts and uncles. So in the next year, we're going to, as we continue that celebration with Veterans Day this year, July 4th next year. Before we do, I will ask all the participants to return back up to the stage when I'm done here for more group photos. Again, thank you all for attending this year's event. I urge you always remember the invaluable service that our public safety team provides for our community. Thank you.